Hey, what's up, everybody? Desi here. Hey, I was just doing a little reading and meditation, and this kind of crossed my mind. So I sat down and wrote a few pages of things that we're going to talk about tonight. I think well, I know the topic of discussion is quit talking to yes men and trust your own intuition. All right, this is a good one, I think. Uh, got a few little pages here, but. Um, I think a lot of people run around asking friends, coworkers, family, for suggestions and about all sorts of things that are happening in their life. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. It's good to let emotions out and to release, and sometimes it's good to get comforted by other people. When you're going through things. Um, but I would say one thing that I would watch out for is giving your power away to other people, because by constantly uh, doing this, are you even trusting in yourself anymore? If you're believing what everyone else is going to tell you, at some point in time you have to trust your own heart and your own intuition and believe in your own power. um, if you just continue to give it away from other people, and you're continuing to take what they say as gospel, how do you know that this is even gonna better you? Or I mean, like, most people come from, how do I put this politely, from a hurt place. A lot of people aren't healed. And so a lot of times when you're, say, getting this information back from other people, a lot of time it's not from a healed state. And not to say that everyone's going to be like this. Sometimes I'm sure you're going to get some good information for some people. But in the end, you need to trust yourself. You need to trust your own heart, your own intuition, go with your gut feeling, because I would much rather fall on my own sword and, make a mistake than to fall on someone else's and make a mistake because of them and be like, well, you gave me this information. Now you're going to play the blame game, be like, well, it's your fault that I did this. And no, it's your fault for listening to them. So, you have to be very careful when you're going down this hill, or you're going into these situations, I think, because it's easy to get caught up and like I said, and then if you're constantly following someone else's opinion, when do you step up and follow your own? Eventually you have to, if you want to grow and grow in intuition, grow in your heart, grow in yourself, you got to make your own mistakes, and you got to be willing to know that when things do go bad or whatever, that it was your mistake. We all got to take credit for our own life. Even if you're following someone else's advice, you still did it. So you just got to step up to that plate, and you know just trust yourself is all I'm trying to say here, I guess. uh, So let's see here. I'm just kind of freeballing it, I guess, since I wrote all this stuff down, but I probably should read through some of these notes. I had some good stuff in here. Um, I, Basically, but there's this one saying that they say, that I wrote down here, is: small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. So just be careful from who you're taking advice from, you know. I think my whole ideal is to create a beautiful world. I believe we all need to claim our own power. Trust our heart, trust in ourselves. Your intuition, once refined, can lead you to the right places all the time. Once you start to trust in your heart, and you're really gonna start making better decisions yourself, because you're gonna realize that you could start trusting yourself more, and then you're not doing this wishy-washy thing like, I need to go ask this person or that person. You're going to know from the inside, if this is the right choice from you. um, and when you do that, it does take a lot of courage, to trust yourself. And but when you do start to follow your intuition and heart, you'll see how easy life can really be. um, because when you're following your heart, you realize that, look, I've made mistakes and I've had failures following my heart. But when you follow your heart, you're doing it from the heart. So it's not going to hurt no one else. Or, usually when you're following your heart, it's for the betterment of everyone, and for yourself, or at least that's the intention. With me, when I'm following my heart, is just to better myself, to better others, or whatever. So when I do that and say I fail, or maybe something happens, then at least I know that I came at it from a good place, and that it's okay. And then it's not that big a deal. I followed my heart. It didn't work out, but hey, at least I tried. And it's better to try something and fail at it than to never try at all and fail every time by not trying. So it's just one of those things. You could really do gotta have the courage to step up, to take that initiative. But once you do, and like I said, you start following your own intuition and your own heart, you realize that failures aren't the end of the world. It's how we learn, is through some failures. And like I said, if you're following your heart and you fail, at least you tried. And all of us are made of scars, physically and emotionally. And it just makes us better. It forges us into better people, better spiritual, physical, emotional badasses. You know what I mean? So you just got to keep going and trust yourself, and then I think I think that's pretty much it. I kind of skimmed through a lot of this stuff that I wrote down here, but that's really it. Is we're just, by trusting our heart and our own intuition, is better than following around yes men, or becoming a yes man, or whatever. Because once you start following your own heart and your own intuition, it's gonna refine it and make it better. And so you're gonna realize, like, right away, like within your gut, within your heart, and mind and all that stuff, like, is this right for me? And you really trust yourself. And then once you could like connect into like spirit and everything, and like relax into that heart space, you'll get your answers a lot better, a lot faster than you will if you're just using the logical mind and asking a million people, and then you just get all jumbled around and be like, well, they said this, they said this. Then you got like 100 options. And that's way worse. Like if there's only one option on the menu, it's pretty easy to order food. But if there's 1,000, you're gonna have a hard time sitting down and like figuring out what you're gonna eat, so to say. So I think that's pretty much it. We'll keep it short and sweet as we can, but yeah, just trust in yourself. The scars make you beautiful, the emotional, physical scars. So, be that beautiful spiritual badass you are, and let's make this world a better place together. All right, till next time.